Alright, welcome to another Crossfire session. It's John McLaughlin here, and hopefully this week we're going to see a bit more normality in the markets. Last week and the week before, obviously New Year, Christmas, there was lots of unpredictability, lots of volatility, not a lot of volume in the market, so we kind of stayed out. So now we're currently, what are we on now? We're on the 8th of Jan, so hopefully we'll see some normality. So what we're trading? We are trading the Euro CAD. We're trading the Euro USD, GBP CAD and GBP USD. And what we're going to do, we're just going to put all the indicators on at 13.15 and just follow the usual process. Really simple. So let's just take all the indicators off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the no, I'm not going to do, that's the wrong one. I'm going to put the indicators on, and then I'll just go through the strategy as we go. So 15-minute time frame, and essentially what I do with this is I go to the vertical line, put the vertical line on, and I want the vertical line on the 1300. That just gives me an indication of where that candle is. Okay, then I'm going to put the trend line. Okay, I'm going to put the trend line across to probably about, what's that on? We'll put it back there. Okay, second trend line on here. Right, so let me just show you what we're going to do. So at 1300, when this candle, 13.15, when the 1300 candle finishes painting, what we're going to do, we're going to put the trend line on the higher high next to the 1300 candle. So it's going to go above and down. Then we're going to put the red trend line on the lower low, okay, of the 1300 candle. That's here. It's obviously not even started yet. And all we're doing, we're looking for potential buys when the price goes above the green trend line, and potential sells when it goes below the red trend line. Of course, there are other factors to bear in mind, and what we do, we look at all the information that the charts are giving us, all the information that our indicators are giving us, and we'll make a decision based on all the factors. Okay, so there's a 1300 candle. So we've got 15 minutes left. You see that's 1300. 15 minutes, and we'll be able to put these trend lines on, and it is very simple and straightforward to put these on. Okay, so let's go and put them on Euro USD. So we're currently on the 15-minute time frame. Vertical line goes on the 1300, and we'll just put these two trend lines on in readiness. Right, GBP CAD, same scenario. Let me just take the indicators off. The reason I take the indicators off because it just cuts down all this noise, and it just makes the chart nice and simple to see. Make sure it's on the 15-minute, 1300. And we say typically that this strategy, which we call Crossfire, goes between 1 PM and 3 PM. Although we've found that trades can carry on into the late afternoon, and also this strategy we do at 6 AM. Okay, if you're up at 6 AM UK time, it's all UK time, and again 6 till 8 or thereabouts. Sometimes it goes on a little bit longer, but certainly with this strategy, you know, if you're getting up and getting ready for work, 7:30 or so, you know, the strategy is great for people who are working. Gets your trades done and out the way before you go to work, so it can work well in that respect. Right, let's take these off. Vertical line goes on 1300, and with two trend lines. Okay, right, so let me go back to Euro CAD, because there's one thing I like to do is I like to look at number one, imbalance. So these areas here are previous areas of imbalance from last week, and they've now been taken out, they've been mitigated. Okay, and this area here, this is previous imbalance which is still active, okay, because it's not been taken out. And what I'm going to do, I don't know what happened there. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this across, because, you know, I always say, like, I'm a visual person. I like to see what's going on. Okay, so, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. There's no limits to whatever you do, whatever makes it easier for you. And what I found with trading over the years is that everyone's got their own way of doing things. And you know, you're going to get training from different people, and different people will have different ways, and some things will resonate with you and some things won't, and that's how you then develop your own style of trading. And there's no right or wrong way to do it, as long as you understand the principles of trading. Right, so this imbalance, this has been taken away. So price created the imbalance here, and then it took it out from there. So we're gonna remove that. And also these areas of interest, essentially they're just my own pivot points, and I like to see them when I'm looking at a trade, just to see where price may go. Wireless keyboards. Who invented wireless keyboards? Garbage. Right, sorry about that. Okay, so Euro USD. Let's have a look at that. In fact, let me go back to Euro CAD and just see what's happened with the price. So generally, with the price, we're starting to get a bit more familiarity with what we're used to, because the markets are now recovering after the new year. So things are starting to recover. We've had price. This is a low here at 9 o'clock this morning. Okay, price then peaked up almost to this pivot point. Then went sideways, and then we've got 245. Oh, sorry, yesterday morning, 245 this morning. The price went up, and you'll always find somewhere around 2 or 3 a.m. you will always get a spike, 2 or 3 a.m. GMT or UK time, and it just, certain times of the day are when things happen. And obviously, I was in bed at that time, okay, but you know, this is why we trade at 6 a.m. This is why we trade at 1 p.m. Because they're relevant times to trade. This area here, okay, that we've got 8:15, the open of the UK exchange, and then we've gone up to this pivot point. So, and of course we've got news here. So we're going to check the news in a second. Right. So in terms of, let me just take the indicators off. Right, so we've got a lot of imbalance down here. You can see that this was, I think this was, we had non-farm payroll, I think it was Friday, yeah, Friday the 5th of Jan. Non-farm payroll, massive peaks, massive manipulation in the market, which is to be expected. And of course it took this imbalance out, then it went up, and you can see, look, price dipped down, okay, then they took the price up. So the banks are taking out stop losses, they're liquidating the market, and then they're taking the price up for themselves. So, and that's what you see all the time. So all this imbalance, all now been mitigated. That's been mitigated, that's been mitigated. This is still slightly active, okay, so we've still got a little bit of imbalance to be taken out. This is a 15-minute time frame. I'll tell you what I'll do as well. I'll keep that area of interest, because obviously any area of interest that you put on in terms of a pivot point or a POC, an active POC, point of control, we'll talk about those as well. They're all relevant. You know, if you put a pitchfork on there, it's still going to be relevant. Okay, so you may as well keep it on, as long as it's not going to distract you from what you're doing. And let me just go back to here, because I didn't actually look at any imbalance that's currently active now. So nothing here. This looks like imbalance, but of course it's been mitigated by this move. Got a little bit there, look, but it's only here. If I make this a bit. So again, I always say this, one thing you can do is you can get indicators that will change the color of your candles, and it will highlight the imbalance for you. However, I always say do as much as you can manually, because you'll understand the process. Okay, so go to there, go to here, I've got a little template that says imbalance. Let's do that, that's it. Let's see what else we've got. Nothing here. Did have a bit there, I think. Yeah, there's a bit there, look. No, we aren't going bad. I don't think we're getting balanced there at all. Yeah, you see, look, originally, okay, we had imbalance from here, from that wick there, okay, all the way down to here. That's been mitigated to there. And we've got the big move down there, which is non-farm payroll. Okay, Euro USD. Let's do these quickly because we're quickly approaching 13.15. A little bit of imbalances here. Okay, GBP CAD, what we've got in there in terms of imbalance. See, when you start looking at the charts, they all start looking very similar. The patterns all look similar because what's been happening. We've got an imbalance down here, maybe a tiny bit just here. We'll put that on. Bit there, look. Right, okay, let's just see what else we've got. That'll do for now. That looks pretty decent. Okay, so GBP USD, let's have a look at that. I have a touch of him, just a tiny bit of imbalance that's not quite been taken out. So there to there. Right, okay, let's go with that. I think that was previous imbalance as well. Okay. Right, 13.13. Let's just see what we're going. So what we got? 13.13 and 40 seconds. So another minute or so, and we'll go and put these trend lines on, and we'll start trading. We'll see what's going on. Let's just go and check the news. My FX book. Economic calendar, just click on there. That's going to bring all the relevant news stories up that may well affect the markets. So 1400, we've got Euro news. We've got 3 lots of Euro news. It's low impact, but there is 3 lots of it. And US news at 1400. So 1400, we kind of want to be looking at everything. So what I do, just to be doubly sure, I'll put a line on there, and I'll just put news. Okay, because TradingView doesn't always pull it up. 1400 news. GBP CAD. News and the GBP USD. So the other one we can check as well, in fact I'll do that in a second because we're now 13.15. I was going to say Forex Factory, but as I always say, Forex Factory is no comparison to my FX book. Right, so this is the 1300 candle. It's now finished painting. We're now looking at the 1315. So what we're looking for is a higher high next to this one, and as you can see, it's the green wick here. Okay, so I'll put the magnet tool on. We'll go over. We'll put that onto there, and we'll just bring that down just to the top of this wick. Okay. Then we're looking for the lower low next to this one, which is the one next to it. This one here, and that's going to come up and just touch the wick there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the 2-minute time frame, and we'll take a magnet tool off, and then we'll just wait and see what happens. Right, we'll do the same for all 4. Euro USD. So on the 15-minute time frame, there's the wick. The higher high is the red candle next to it. Put the magnet tool on. You see how the magnet tool just snaps it to it, makes it a lot easier. And then we're going to go on top of, oh, have I done that wrong? Yes, I have. Looking for the higher high, that's the, so the higher, this is the thing, so the higher high next to this candle, okay, which is the 1300 candle, is this red one here. And we're going to come down. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's try it a third time, we might get it right. There we go. And the lower low next to the red candle is this green candle, the one left right next to it. There. There we go. Okay. 2-minute time frame. We'll put the thing, and we'll put our indicators back on as well. So from there, indicators back on. GBP CAD. Let's make it bigger so I can see the bloody thing. There we go, that's better. Right, there's the, see, look at that, that's the 1300 candle. Look, it's really just like a doji candle. So there's something going on there. So the higher high is the red candle here. Magnet tool on, make sure it's on the 15-minute. There we go. And then bring it down onto the wick, top of the wick there. The lower low is the candle next to it, which is there, and bottom of the wick. There we go. 2-minute time frame. I'm going to put it on the straightforward, and I'm going to put on the clouds on. just so we can see what's going on. There we go. I'm going to wait. Okay, so currently it's just gone above the green trend line, so we'll just bear that in mind. We'll come back and look at that in a second. Okay, so we'll put these on. Right, we're done. So this this candle here has gone above our green trend line, so that's going to, you know, prick our ears up a little bit for a potential buy. Okay, we've got a nice bit of clear air, to be fair. We've got these higher highs here on this area of interest here. Okay, but if it breaks free from that, then I would say this may well. We've got clear air. This is what the main thing I look for. So we've got air all the way up to the bottom of the imbalance, and the bottom of the imbalance usually gives us some resistance, or at least a nice target to go to. So we're currently in a wave up. We have a green PSAR. Our WAD RATAR is showing us there's a bit of green volume, although if you look at the explosion line on there, we're still in the dead zone. So looking at that, I would be tempted to kind of stay out of it. And there you can see, look what's happened. Okay, our moving averages. Okay, the white one that you can just see there, they're all kind of bunched together. The white is the 5. We've got the green. In fact, the yellow. Yeah, the yellow is the 13. The green is the 62. And the blue here is a 300, sorry, a 200. So we're just going to give this a bit more time just to see what is going to happen. It may well want to go up, but at the moment it's certainly not ready. It was kind of showing its interest, but it's turned on its heels, and it's the WAD RATAR that kind of kept us out of that, because it's currently in the dead zone. So it's showing me that there's not really enough volume to really get into that right now. Okay, so let's look at Euro CAD. So Euro CAD is typically in this zone, so it's in between the green and the red, excuse me, and it's what we call a dead zone. Okay, so you don't want to be getting in trades anywhere at all in this area. Okay, because you've got support and resistance in either direction, and also you'll find that the green trend line also acts as resistance. Okay, so price will want to come up, but it will resist against this area here. As you'll see, that does bounce off. There you go. It's just bounced off, and it'll do the same in this direction as well. It'll bounce off, but as it gets towards this wedge, okay, so you've got like a falling wedge. It's got to do something at some point, and then you've got the crossover, and then potentially we can look at getting into trades if things, you know, stack in our favour. And that's really all it is. You know, you look at all the different indicators, all the different information. They're just probability stacks. Okay, and what I like to do is I like to look at trade. I like to look at the information, and okay, what is going to keep me out of this trade? Okay, now it's a different psychology to, you know, let's get in, but it'll keep your account safer. In fact, look at that. It's just started to poke its nose through there. Okay, and even though it's going below, we're still not interested because it's still dragging its feet. It's still touching this red trend line. So we're still, you know, just going to wait and just see what's going to happen. Although we've got some, you know, some movement for the downside. The WAD RATAR is currently showing as a darker red. So the darker red is obviously more strength. But the explosion line, as you can see, it tried to move away for this push here. Okay, but currently it's moving back towards a dead zone. So it's telling me that there's still not enough volume to be kind of interested in this. The Euro USD, okay, we said that's still in the dead zone. GBP CAD, what's that doing? Well, nothing really. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Okay, it's not in the dead zone, but you know, it's tried to go up. It came back down again. It's hovering around this area. This green trend line is offering resistance for the downside. Okay, so
we're just got to wait and see what happens. And as you can see from the WAD hour, okay, again it's peaking, just peaking, the histogram peaking just out the dead zone, okay, peaking just out the dead zone, and again we still haven't got huge amounts of volume, okay. GBP USD. So GBP USD is doing what GBP CAD did in this situation here. Okay, so it's starting to peak out, it's starting to go outside of that trend line. We've also got a little bit of air, okay, or gap, okay, between the wick and that trend line. So that tells us, you know, that it's potentially wants to go up for a buy. We've got the wave up, we've got the green PSARs, we've got the moving averages are kind of in order. Okay, we've had the crossover. Well, it hasn't crossed over there. Sort of a crossover there, kind of a narrowing that came together, but then spread out. Okay, sorry. And what I like to see with the moving averages, I like to see the moving averages in order. Okay, 5, 13, 62, 200. Okay, in the direction of the trade. Okay, so that is currently where they're at now. Although they're bunched together. Okay, which again tells me there's little volume. The WAD hour ATAR, look, little volume. Okay, our explosion line is still in the dead zone, so it's going to keep us out. It's going to keep us out because this, we may well just see sideways rotation. We just might see this sideways all, you know, until maybe until the news. And even if price did go above and it started breaking up, what have we got above? Okay, well we've got this imbalance, excuse me. We've got this imbalance above, okay, which is, and we know, so there's the high of this area, okay, and that would be our area of interest there. And we always know that the bottom of the imbalance will generally act as resistance, okay. So that being said, okay, if we were to take a trade from here, okay, up to there, we've only got 8.6 pips to the bottom of that imbalance. So when you take into consideration spread and getting in at the right time, and also we want a 1-to-2 ratio, the numbers don't add up for this trade. It's as simple as that. The numbers don't add up. You know, it's like walking into a house and buying it at the wrong price, and you end up in negative equity because you need to do too much to it. Okay, so you need to buy at the right price. Simple as that. And these numbers don't work. Okay, so let's go back. Euro CAD, what's happened to Euro CAD? All right, Euro CAD, now it's gone below the red trend line. Okay, we've now gone past the 62 moving average, moving towards the 200 moving average. Okay, what's the gap between there? Probably not quite as much, yeah, 4.3 pips. And then from here, area of interest, the first area of interest, let me tell you, it's going to be about here, about there. So it's going to reach to about there, and it's going to bounce or break off that line there based on previous price action. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Our next area of interest, okay, looking at previous price action, look at these, looks a low there, it's a low here, it's going to hit there, it's going to hit, that's where it's going to go. And that is around, that would have been a good take profit area had the numbers kind of stacked up for us. There's not really much volume going on, but had the numbers stacked up, this area where it's above the 200 moving average would have been a nice take profit if we could get our 1-to-2 ratio, which we're not, because there's not enough in it, and I'll show you. So if we go to there, we go to short position, okay, we'll look at where it is now. We're going to take our stop loss based on what our indicator suggests, which is this engulfing candle here. Okay, now if we come down for a 1-to-2, okay, we could get a 1-to-2 there, but look at the stop loss. It's ridiculously tight, 2 pips. You'd never do anything with that. And this is why a lot of people don't like scalping, because a lot of people try and make money based on these tight little numbers that are so tight, and price can move so quickly. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose. You'll lose out. Okay, so the numbers here don't work again because there's not enough volume in it. Ideally, with the stop loss, what I like, and you can see, look, it's already. If we're even going to remotely consider this, it'd have taken us out in like 30 seconds. Okay, so again, this is why when there's no volume in the market like there is currently, we just wait. Okay, we just wait. So let's have a look at another one. So Euro USD. So Euro USD again is still in this dead zone. As I said, this green trend line is going to act as resistance. That's exactly what it's doing, and it's going to take a bit more time for this to maybe break out. And if it does break out, potentially it's going to. Where are we at now? We're currently. So I'm looking at this little cluster here. All right, let's put our area of interest on. So if we went to, yeah, we're going to be about there. And this blue line here is an area of resistance, as is the green trend line, because of previous price action. You just look at previous price action, what happened in the past is going to happen in the future, okay, in this particular zone. And if you look a little bit later, okay, price may well, when it gets to about here, may well want to break out, okay. It needs to break out, okay, and that's when we start to look at potential trades, okay. I always say potential trade, there's nothing certain. Right, GBP CAD, what's that boy doing? We're above the green, we're above the red as well, okay. So that's kind of interesting. And I said this was a kind of slightly more interesting trade. What I would want to see is price to get above these kind of areas, kind of this, well, let's look at this previous high. I want it to break above that, okay, and then maybe see about going to the upside. But it's, again, look at the WADR ATAR telling us, look, there's no volume in it. What's the point getting involved in this? You know, you can't really make a successful trade when there's no volume in the market. Let's watch it, see what happens. But I can pretty much guarantee it'll get to here and bounce off. That's just what it's done, look. Now we're starting to get a slight line going up. See this white line on here, this white line, this is the explosion line, starting to move away. Okay, starting to move away from the dead zone. But even if it goes up, okay, even if we get excited, we've got 8 pips there. Again, there's not really enough in it for me. Right, let's have a look at GU. Again, GU's doing the same sort of thing. It'll probably end up going to here before bouncing back off again. So the WADR ATAR is showing that the explosion line is going up, but at the same time, after all this kind of low volume, it could just be a fake out, you know. And a fake out is just getting the banks just pushing price up in their direction to take out stop losses before the news. That's a potential. That could be what's happening, but right now there's not enough in it. Right, GBP CAD, that's doing the same. So GBP USD, GBP CAD, it's kind of doing the same thing, okay? And it's done what I just said it would do. Bottom of the imbalance, excuse me, bottom of the imbalance. The bottom of the imbalance always acts as resistance, which is exactly what it's done here, okay? Confirmed by the fact that it did it here at previous price. This was the 8th, well, yeah, earlier this afternoon, 12:12 this afternoon. So what, an hour and a half ago. Let's see what else we've got on the previous price action. This is the 2-minute time frame. Let's have a quick look at the 15-minute. So the price before, yeah, so we've got, it's approaching the imbalance. It may well want to take out this imbalance, you know. We'll see what happens. If the price breaks out clear of the imbalance, then the chances are it may well go to the pivot. Okay, let's go back onto the 2 minutes. So we've got 11 pips to there, and we've got 17 pips to the pivot line. So it's just doing the same thing as what it did here. Okay, just bouncing off. And GU will do the same, be doing the same thing again. Right, Euro CAD. So Euro CAD, you see how it went above the green trend line, but it was still dragging its feet. Okay, it's still touching the trend line. So if it's doing that, we're not interested. Okay, so what we do is we wait for price to go up and then break free of that, and then of course it came back down again. Okay, now it's starting to move in that direction, but the Wadarata, okay, we've got the explosion line came up, it's gone horizontal. The green histogram is the light green. Okay, now it's darker green, so it's showing us a bit more strength. And I think, sorry. See if that shows its colours, and we end up, we've got a nice 17 pips of imbalance there. Let me just check that imbalance. Yeah, that's imbalance from the 29th of December. That's still active. Okay, that's kind of piquing my interest a bit more. And I'll tell you why. Because once we get above, if we break above this, if we get through this resistance area of the imbalance and break above it, then we've got clear air. Okay, we haven't got anything in the way. It's always congestion down here. Everything's in the way. It's, you know, it's like trying to navigate your way through town on a Saturday morning. There we go. Look. So let's put some numbers on. So if we're going to go long, okay, where would we put our stop loss? Okay, well, a stop loss ideally would be below the trend line. What's 11.4 pips? That's quite a way. So, but if we were to go to 1 to 2, see how 1 to 2 takes us just below. That's about just below the pivot line. The 11 pips is a bit too much for me. Okay, now the straightforward Forex indicator shows us the engulfing candle and also this line, which is a potential stop loss area, although again this area here is a little bit tight as well, 5.8 pips, and I always like somewhere around 7. So if I looked at 7, that takes us to here, but where is that in relation to price action? Not really anywhere. Okay, so I want to take it to just below the red, the green trend line, and we're going to go for a 1 to 2. Okay, 1.2.1, that's near enough. Okay, let's cross it over. Let's just see where that goes. Okay, it's a little bit early yet, because, you know, it's still, as in with this trend line where it's still dragging its feet. It's still dragging its feet with this imbalance, so it's still offering resistance. So, you know, you've got to wait until price gets up and you get some clear air. Okay, then when you get the clear air, then it gives you more of a confirmation. Remember, I always say we're looking to take great trades, not just any trade. All right, so currently what have we got? We've got a wave up. Okay, check. Okay, we've got we've got a bit more separation on the moving averages. We've got this bunched up here, and then it's starting to spread out. So we've got the 5, the 13, the 62, and the 200. Okay, the Wadarata, the explosion line, is moving away from the dead zone, although we've still got the light color on the histogram So it's showing us a little bit of weakness, but in terms of the histogram, we've got some nice big columns there. I think we'll call them columns. So it's showing us that there's a bit more volume in this particular move. And also we're in this. No, we've broken away from that imbalance. So we've now got this tiny gap, okay, between this wick and the bottom of the imbalance. So again, that's looking encouraging. Okay, so what's going to be happening is on the other pairs, we'll maybe see a similar pattern. Okay, there we go. So from here to here, 5.5 pips. There's not a huge amount, but again, similar sort of thing. And I always say we're currently looking at this, which is a euro trade. Okay, now do we want to be getting into another euro trade? Okay, and you might go, well, yeah, because you could double your profits. So yeah, but you'll also potentially double your losses. Okay, so we'll stay out of this one, but obviously we know what's going to happen because this is doing similar things. GBP CAD, okay, again, that's doing similar things. We can get into this one. Okay, this looks like it may want to go to the pivot point, even though it's a little bit late. Okay, but 11.4 pips. So let's go to a long, and again, we'll go to there. So 11.7 pips on the stop loss, and we've got a 1 to 2, which takes us, yeah, it's just a little bit above. And again, that's because I'm chatting as well. So right, GU, what's GU doing? Yeah, same sort of thing. So this area here is a resistance area based on the previous price action. We're nicely above the trend lines in relation to our strategy, and we've got this wave. You see all these wave candles? These are all green. The PSAR is green. We're currently in a wave up. The explosion line is moving away. We've got weakness in the volume on the histogram, but currently looks like this may well go up, but again, we're currently at this resistance area, so we're going to have to see. It may well just consolidate at this area here, and it may break through. So at whatever line or whatever moving average or whatever you put on your chart, as long as you're confident with it, okay, price will either bounce or break from these areas. Okay, there, look, bounce off. Okay, came all the way down, came all the way up again, bounced off, bounce. So at some point it's got to break. It's got to break at some point because we've got imbalance. Okay, so the guarantee with this is wherever you see imbalance, price has to take out at some point. It has to. We just don't know when. And that's the critical thing. We don't know when it's going to take it out, but we know it will at some point. So GBP CAD still dithering around this kind of area here. We'll see how that goes. Euro USD. I think we've got a euro. Yeah, we've got a euro trade on right now, so that's going to do very similar things to that. If we come back and have a look, I don't think we've got anything. Yeah, I'll have to go on the 15-minute time frame and look at that, but again, we're going to use the imbalance as our areas of interest, and then obviously we've got the pivot point. And previously this morning, I know so you've got price at the pivot point. Okay, it comes down back to this pivot point, back up, almost touches this pivot point. Okay, it comes down to the pivot point and then back up to this pivot point. It may well go back up to this one. Okay, but we'll see. But we're in this, so we'll see what happens. Put it back on for 2 minutes. Euro USD. So this currently is above the green trend line. And I know we don't get into the same pair trades, but we can look at it for illustration purposes. We've got this imbalance here. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. So currently price from there to the bottom of the imbalance, 6.8, 9.3 pips to the top. Yeah, and you see, look, previous highs just took us to the bottom of the imbalance, which is about 6 pips. So, you know, had we got into this, we'd have probably got into it earlier. But then earlier it wasn't ready. So again, this is a trade where you just go, okay, we'll just stay out. We'll just stay out of it and see what happens. Okay, but what will happen initially is that price will go up and it'll bounce off the imbalance. Okay, so this is one to consider for maybe later. Okay, pound Canadian dollar, that's going back down to the downside. So let's see where that goes. Currently, right now, excuse me, it's right on this area of imbalance. So it's acting as support for that price, but we'll see what goes on with that. It could just break out, and then that'll be that trade finished. You can see the histogram. Okay, it's running out of steam on the buys, as indicated by what's happening right now, because we're going for the sells, and the likelihood is that will turn red, and we'll start to see red. But we'll just see. We'll just buy the time, see what happens. GU. Kind of nothing really happening with that one. Again, it went up to the same area. Okay, this is an area of resistance. It's resisted and it's bounced off. Again, we've just got to react to what happens. Right. So what have we got? We've got the news coming up in an hour and 14 minutes. It may or may not impact it. To say the news currently is low impact, but there's quite a lot of it. Yeah, we'll see what happens at 1400. Sorry, yeah, 1400. Sorry, an hour and 15 minutes away. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer, see what's going to happen, see if this price is going to do anything. And I say, sometimes when you get news, particularly with high impact news, you can guarantee there'll be volatility. But sometimes the banks like to see breakout. They do these breakouts to try and get people into trades, and then to take out stop losses. So had we been in this, okay, currently we are 11 pips stop there. So there's our stop loss down here. So are they going to try and bring price down to liquidate those stop losses? It's low impact news, so I don't know. We'll have to see, but you've got to be mindful of it. Okay, so price going back down to the green trend line. Price is coming down, so is it going to break through? We'll see. See, I don't think, I did say last week that sometimes it takes till like the 15th, so it won't be until next week until the markets recover properly from the Christmas period. So and we're not really seeing huge amount, particularly in this session. We're not seeing the usual sort of pushes that we do. 6 a.m. is a bit better, 6, 8 a.m. on the morning Crossfire, but certainly the afternoon it's not quite. I don't think it's quite recovered yet. You can see all this. Look, it's kind of very little volume from there. So So again, if we got into this around, I don't know, say around here, what I'm going to do is just show you is this wave candle. So you can see the wave candle as it's going up. Okay, it's green and it's staying green, but you can see how that green's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, again, it just means it's running out of steam on the buy, and the chances are that we may end up eventually, if this price continues to come down, we may well see that wave change colour to red. But currently we've got the wave up, we've got the green PSAR, although the distance between the PSAR and the candle is narrowing, so that's an indication that volume is running out. Obviously the histogram is showing us that volume is running out, and also volume is now in the dead zone, okay, for those buys. The histogram is, I would say, still moving away. Okay, still moving away from the dead zone for that buy. So, you know, it looks like price wants to go up, but it's not convincing. Okay, in terms of the moving averages, we've got the 5. They're all in order. Okay. So let's just we'll just wait out. We'll wait it out and see what's going to happen. Let's pull that over a little bit more. Right, so Euro USD, again, that's hit that resistance area of the green trend line, and there's nothing really doing for that. We're going to wait and see. If it, again, this area here is not the no man's land, as we call it. So really, I want price to end up to go up or break down below the red trend line to consider any potential buys, sells rather. Yeah, it's just, again, just waiting to see what's going to happen with that. Not a huge amount at the minute. GU, again, GU is kind of almost very similar to Euro USD in that it's coming back down to this kind of these areas here. Yeah, and look at the histogram. Histogram in the dead zone. Nothing's really happening. The explosion line is coming back down towards the dead zone. So this is a very low volume day. Really steady. Really kind of nothing happening. Right, we've got 10 minutes left before we hit the news. We'll just go and see what happens when the news kicks in, and then once we look at that, I'm going to go upset and have a cup of coffee. So Euro CAD. So you can see how if we'd have taken, if it had been really tight, if our stop loss had been up here, we'd have lost. Okay, no doubt about that. Okay, stop loss at this area here is slightly better, but you know, you still start to get a bit twitchy when price starts coming down, and what you want to be doing when you're taking trades is you want to be confident that, number one, you're happy with your risk to reward, and number two, you have more confidence with your whole execution of stop losses. So that's okay. And although, look, you know, we've got on there, look, see that where that is, we've got doji candle, another doji candle, a bit more volume, and now currently where we are, it's another doji candle. Doji candle is just a long wick and a small body. It just means indecision. So the market doesn't know what it wants to do. Okay, and this may well just be leading up to the news. I say it's low impact news, so it may not even affect it too badly. But we've just got to look at all the factors that we've got going for or against us. Okay. Right, so look at Euro USD. Euro USD, nothing. Again, it's still resisting on that line. The line is acting for support for the buys, and it's acting as resistance for the sells. So again, we'll just wait. And if you look at the histogram is showing us that we've got a slightly more strength, but the explosion line is going back down to the dead zone, and we've still got very little volume in this particular area. Okay. GBP CAD. Again, it could just well be a waiting game, and what I tend to do with with my trades is that I stay in them. It used to be a case of, you know, if you'd see something like, I don't know, something like this, okay. When I first started trading, it'd be like, okay, it's in profit. I'm not really sure what's happening. It went into the stop loss there. Let's get out right now, okay. And you'd get out your trade, and you would go, okay, well, at least I'm making a profit, and I've made 3 pips. I'm going to get out of that, okay. And to be honest, it's a mistake, because all you're doing is you're second guessing your strategy and everything. You're second guessing everything, okay. So if you've got confidence with this, let it ride up, and my confidence level would be to ride it up to about the top of that imbalance, okay, depending on price action at the time, okay. Now you can see when price action starts to get more positive, because it starts to go up, and it goes up, and it goes up a bit quicker, okay. And then you can say, okay, well, it went up there quite quick, and now it's gone out and it's broken out, and yes, I'm gonna leave it for my 2-to-1 ratio, okay. But there's nothing wrong as a scalper to get to this sort of level here. So we'd have made 16 pips by the time we got to there. There's nothing wrong in getting out of that level if you think, because that to me is like a take profit 1, even though it's a 1 to 2, because we did have 11.2 pips of stop loss, which is more than I would normally like. And then, you know, will it go to the pivot? We'll see. We'll just see what happens. We're going to leave it for now and just let it ride. But currently, you see where price is right now? That's at a resistance area. So if we go to the 15-minute, now if you were purely in the 15-minute, you'd look at that and you'd be probably feeling a bit more confident, okay, because it's gone up steadily and gradually, okay. Whereas on the 2-minute, it's more of a zoomed in effect, so you end up kind of seeing what's happening at the time. So where are we? Oh yeah. Okay, there are areas here. See that where that wicks comes down. There's an area there. There's an area here, which is kind of interest here. That's where it's stumbling. You see this area here. I'll put it about there. Okay, so you see how it wicked up and it came down, and then it wicked up again, and then obviously it peaked all the way out, big breakout, and that's what then that caused that imbalance. So if we go back to the 15 of a 2-minute, that's the area now of interest. Now you can see how it's sort of making sense. This is why you think, okay, why is it stuck at that point? Well, it's stuck there because this is an area of previous price action. And what I want to see is exactly what's happening now, is the price breaking away from that. So we've still got like 1 minute and 14 left on this time frame. I'd want to see some clear air between this area of interest and the move up, and that would give me more confidence in what's happening right now. Right, so 50 odd seconds. Let's just see what. I'll come back to that in a second. So Euro USD again, still resisted on this area. Okay, it may well want to go up, but we'll see. GBP CAD. GBP CAD is still resisting, and this kind of it's going sideways, and it'll probably go sideways for the next 3 minutes because that's when the news is. And yeah, we've got GU just out, skipping around without a care in the world, not doing anything. Right, let's see what's going to happen here. Okay. Right, so we've got 15 seconds on this time frame. So what I want to see price remain at this level, break away, and then shoot to the upside. It looks like it's starting to. That 5 seconds left. Okay, nice. Okay, so you can see how price action is now giving me more confidence in this trade, because it's starting to move away, and this is our area of resistance previously when it's now cleared that. Okay, so now what have we got? Okay, well, if we go, well, we've been left, we've seen it. Okay, we've seen what's happening, but it gives me more confidence that this is going to go up and take out this imbalance and maybe even go to the pivot, but we'll see. So the WAD Arata, as I say, it was nice and strong. Price has come down in the last sort of few seconds. Okay, so it's lowered the volume on the histogram, and we're also back into the dead zone. And the reason it's going so quickly is because we're on the 2-minute time frame. Okay, now a few years ago I used to trade purely on the 15-minute. Okay, and on the 15-minute you'd be going, yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, it's still up. No worries. Okay, but let's go back up to 2-minute. 2-minute gives you an early warning kind of system. So we'll just let that ride out and see what's going to happen. Right, so let's go through them before we call it a day, and we'll just leave these trades going. So Euro USD is still having a battle with this resistance area. Okay, price may well go up, but at the same time we've got this area of resistance, and then we've got the imbalance. So again, we'll wait it out. And if you look at the histogram or the WAD Arata, it's going back to the explosion. So yeah, back in the explosion line is going back into the dead zone, and we've got very little volume to show. GBP CAD still on this area. Again, it's still just going sideways. We've got the news now, so the news isn't really doing much. Okay, remember this was Euro news, Euro and USD news. Let's see what our USD friends have done. Yeah, not a huge amount. GU, again, not much at all. GBP CAD starting to make a very slight move up. Euro USD, again, similar thing, it's moving up slightly, and we're still moving up on Euro CAD. So again, we'll just wait it out and see what happens. Anyway, good. We've been on an hour, so we're going to let those ride. We'll come back tomorrow, see what's happened, and we'll see how we get on. But again, there's still little volume in the markets. I thought we might have recovered from that, but it is probably going to take another week to get buoyant again, particularly for this 1 p.m. session. Anyway, if you got some value from this, hopefully you have, click that subscribe button. Really appreciate the subscriptions, and if you got some value from this, give me a like, and if you've got any questions, drop me a comment. Okay, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow. Bye for now.